as he moved toward the center of the ring even before the opening bell. Which styles will emerge in the early rounds? Is De La Hoya here to box or to fight? Is Pacquiao here to try to create an immediate storm or to tactically bide his time and hope to pressure De La Hoya in the late rounds? Good straight left hand up the middle for Manny Pacquiao. The height differential did not show up so graphically at the weigh-in yesterday, where De La Hoya was barefoot and Pacquiao had tennis shoes on. Today, they do look 4 inches apart in height.
You can see the height difference here. But Oscar seems to be very intent and very angry. I just see the expression and looking in his eyes. I've known him. But he's fighting a very intelligent fight.
He takes a straight left hand and a right hook from Pacquiao and seems intent on retaliating. But already Pacquiao shows you that he wants to move in, move out quickly. Move in, land a flurry, move back out of De La Hoya's range. And the quickness of Pacquiao is a factor in round 1.
Those 2 punches have reddened Oscar's face already.
They seem to have been the only clear punches that have landed thus far. And it's interesting that Manny is using his footwork. He's using his moving around better than Oscar.
And Oscar is not firing his jab, perhaps because of the early bobbing head movement of Manny Pacquiao. De La Hoya knows he wants to keep his jab going throughout the fight. He hasn't really gotten it going so far.
This has the makings of being a very interesting fight, and I think as it goes on, sooner or later you're going to get some very good exchanges. But right now, Manny is fighting a very smart fight.
Well, if there are 2 graphic impressions from round 1, they're simple. De La Hoya is so much taller, Pacquiao so much faster. And now De La Hoya nails Pacquiao momentarily against the ropes and catches him with a left hook to the body.
Oscar needs to do just what he's doing now and use it more, the left jab.
But he can't find Pacquiao at the moment. Pacquiao's movement confusing him at the moment.
But getting busy watching the jab. But right now, Manny is hitting him with his punches off.
That momentarily shocked Oscar.
I think the speed has been bothersome for Oscar throughout the round, who simply can't believe how easily Pacquiao snakes his left hand right through the middle of De La Hoya's guard. De La Hoya lands a left hook. But Pacquiao gets away.
He punched, but nothing landed too much for the most part.
Good. Give me that. Give me that. Okay. Right in the middle, Manny.
Very good. Keep boxing. It's very important. You gotta keep your back off the ropes. When you feel the ropes coming.
When you're looking for him, he can't do anything. All he can do is a straight hand or a hook, and you saw what he did. He trips. He doesn't know what to do. Lively, lively, lively. Assert yourself. Assert your jab.
Right here, you see what surprised me and has been probably the most effective punch. The little left-hand lead of Manny's is he shoots right between the gloves of Oscar and dipping and getting away after he lands the punch.
Pacquiao's learning curve has accelerated through the middle portion of his career. There was a moment when he was, even though dangerous and destructive, largely a one-note tune. Jab, jab, straight left hand. His ability to fashion the the lead left hand, starting his offense with it, as he's doing there, shows how much he's progressed as a tactician.
One thing that you mean is very obvious. Oscar De La Hoya has very little head movement, but Manny Pacquiao is using his upper body movement with his hands, his feet, his gloves, where Oscar's too stationary at this stage here. Manny is a much more elusive target.
You know, Oscar used to dominate smaller guys when he was a young fighter. He was always put in with guys a weight division or 2 less than him. He isn't doing it yet.
And he hasn't really adjusted to the straight left-hand lead of Manny Pacquiao. He seems to be expecting Pacquiao to start with the right jab, and Pacquiao continues to confound him by coming straight up the middle with the left-hand lead. He has reddened De La Hoya's nose from top to bottom with that punch. You heard Freddie Roach telling Manny Pacquiao between rounds, as soon as you feel your back touch the ropes, move to the side and get away. He expects it's a different fight if they're in the center of the ring, where Pacquiao's speed dominates, as opposed to along the ropes, where De La Hoya's strength could become a factor.
There is a little welt on the side of Oscar's left eye, where he has caught a couple of right hands.
Manny's upper body movement and defense is very, very effective, as you say. Oscar cannot time his head movement the way he's moving and bobbing and weaving and dancing in and out.
Indeed, De La Hoya is reduced to mostly trying to go at the body because he hasn't been able to find Pacquiao's head.
But he has no head movement at all. His head is stationary.
Good body shot. Doubled over Oscar, it seemed. And as you said, he is bending his head so that there is almost no height difference between them.
Pacquiao lands a brilliant uppercut up the middle. And if round one was mostly Manny Pacquiao, round two is even more so. De La Hoya has not been able to solve Pacquiao's speed, movement, the southpaw style.
If you look, to get into fine details, not only the head movement is not there with Oscar. He's fighting coming in most of the time leading on his heels, whereas Manny is operating on the ball of his feet.
And somehow, so far, he is neutralizing Oscar's left hand, one of the best weapons in the sport for over a decade.
The speed and variety of Manny Pacquiao on offense, the head movement defensively, the straight left hand up the middle. He has carved out an edge in the first couple of rounds against the longer, taller Oscar De La Hoya.
Don't look for him without throwing punches, because you give him a shot. You give him a chance because of his speed. Jab, 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 and throw. Throw to the body, and then up top, and then finish off at the body. But don't walk in looking for him without punches. You give him all the chances. Do you understand? Throw punches.
Hey boy, keep boxing him. You're making it hard. Now you make it hard to find you, and he's taking chances. He's starting to make mistakes.
Nahihirapan siya paghanap sa'yo pag ganun ang ginagalaw mo, okay?
Keep boxing smart. In and out, side to side.
CompuBox numbers through the second round show Manny Pacquiao landing more than half of his power shots. This is a big problem for Oscar De La Hoya, who has landed only 6 of 56 attempted jabs, according to CompuBox. De La Hoya hasn't really gotten his offense going, and he hasn't solved Pacquiao's game yet.
Even though Manny is slightly winning, I think as the fight goes on, I see him becoming even better. I can't really visualize Oscar doing much better than this. He looks a little slower, doesn't look as strong, body looks a little weak. And as I said, his upper body movement is not going on.
You're telling me we're going to see a shutout, Emmanuel?
I think Manny's going to get stronger as the fight goes on, even though he's winning now. Oscar has no defense for those punches. He's just stationary.
Why did so many ringside experts think that the fight wasn't even a credible idea?
Because the first we thought he was going to be a bigger guy, and as it turned out, he's just a taller guy. The difference is I thought he would have came in about 160 pounds, as most people. For him to almost picked up any weight, then he's just taller, but nowhere near where we say stronger or as big as he should be.
Boxing annoys and irritates Oscar, he says, and he is very annoyed and irritated at the moment. He is not getting off at all. He hasn't thrown a punch in 20 or 30 seconds, and that was a reach-in right hand. But sooner or later, he's going to land something. You have to believe that.
He just landed a good left hook to the body there, and Pacquiao, following Freddie Roach's instructions, moved off the ropes as soon as he felt his back against him. There is a big swelling outside the left eye of Oscar De La Hoya, the product of Manny Pacquiao's right hooks. There's a redness in the middle of De La Hoya's face, the product of Pacquiao's straight left hand. Now De La Hoya seems to relax just a little and begins to find the target with his jab. You might describe the first couple of rounds as shock and awe. Pacquiao's speed taking De La Hoya to the cleaners. Now Oscar seems just a little more comfortable, though Pacquiao is still more offensive, more the aggressor in the fight, moving in and out effectively.
But Oscar's, I think, to me, more aggressive. But the punch with the snap and the speed is coming from Pacquiao. I don't see the punch, the snap in Oscar's punches as much as Manny is. There's a lot of difference in the steam.
And that's because he's uncertain where Manny's going to be.
Good point. Good point. You can tell that.
Is it also because it's a physically more challenging process to move down in weight, particularly when you're 35 years old, than to move up in weight when you're 29?
Absolutely. Absolutely. And right now, you know, Oscar, I know he's into this kangaroo meat or whatever he's doing and things, but to me, he just doesn't look that strong when he does.
Wild punches. Oscar is not landing his big shots.
Beautiful. Nice head movement, son. Give me one deep breath. In through your nose, out through your mouth. Come on, you're right.
That's it.
Nasukat na. Okay? Laro tayo, laruin mo ha.
Okay.
Labas na, pasok.
Now,
Deep breath, man.
he's very slow right now, okay? Now, the feints, I gotta draw his lead out. Use your feints a little bit more.
Manny Pacquiao is the first southpaw Oscar De La Hoya has fought since September of 1997 when he fought Hector Camacho Sr. Pacquiao has dominated De La Hoya in the first 2 rounds with his straight left-hand lead up the middle. Early in his career, Pacquiao always set this punch up with jabs. De La Hoya seems shocked and not ready for the left-hand lead of Manny Pacquiao. Harold, how do he score through 3?
Look at him, 3-0, 30-27, Manny Pacquiao. Jim, what he's doing is he's turning the guy. Look, right jab, left hand, and then he moves to the side. He's got Oscar turning. If Oscar can't get set, he can't get his punches off. And Manny's turning him. Oscar looks like a guy going, doing a 360. 3-0, Manny Pacquiao based on not only clean punching, ring generalship when he turns the guy.
And when Harold was speaking, Oscar landed a good straight right hand, but then Pacquiao came back seconds later with a flurry of left hands.
The biggest and most effective punch in the entire fight has been the straight left of Manny Pacquiao between the gloves of Oscar.
Let's see if De La Hoya can develop some confidence in his jab over the course of these next few rounds so that he can bring coherency to his own offense.
Oscar needs to work his jab. Whether it lands or not, it'll at least get Manny preoccupied. Manny can land the big right hand, but he's not jabbing enough. And
Well,
he needs to
let's face
feint. He needs to feint it sometimes and then jab in order to make Manny move and then jab him after he moves.
The right hand has never been a super destructive punch for De La Hoya. I asked Freddie Roach yesterday in our meeting, I said, have you ever seen Oscar De La Hoya really hurt somebody with the right hand? And he smiled knowingly and said, nope. And that's a factor in the fight. The straight right hand is often the #1 weapon of choice for a conventional fighter against a southpaw. For the same reason that Pacquiao is landing his straight left hand. The avenue of approach is open. It's still Pacquiao's quickness dominating the slower De La Hoya.
And if Oscar's not going to move his head, at least he keep his right hand near the center of his face, and he keeps it up right near the side, leaving a perfect hole for Manny to go right through, and that's what he's doing. And that's what Oscar needs to do, is keep working that jab. Manny could not time him so much, and even if he doesn't land his ass, keep pumping him. But he doesn't jab enough.
Good body shots there by Pacquiao. And if there was doubt coming in as to whether Pacquiao could affect De La Hoya with his punching power, there shouldn't be any doubt anymore.
And you watch when Manny lands his left, he then moves off often to his own right. So he stays out of the line of fire. He hits it and moves away as soon as he lands it.
This is getting embarrassing.
It's an event when De La Hoya dodges a left hand. Virtually all of them seem to be landing for Pacquiao.
Oscar looks old and he cannot control the situation. The worst thing in the world is to come back and complain, I can't handle the speed. And that's exactly what David Diaz said, but David Diaz wasn't the fighter of Oscar, but he could not handle the speed.
Oscar said he needed this fight to convince himself whether he could keep fighting. He's got 8 more rounds to find out whether